Hi, everybody.
Hey everybody, welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon, and me, Banshee. And it's Mr. O's Goth Tarot. And here I am, here I be, with my official Goth Tarot shirt.
And you've taken over my show. I don't know what I can say. I don't know how to
Just one day a month.
how to think.
I suppose you want to take over my show, except you have two shows.
We are both suitably attired in black.
And I only have one.
Come on, you're getting off the track.
What, no bickering allowed on this show?
There's no bickering button.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to get started.
So what is Goth Tarot, especially with Banshee guest starring?
Yeah, what the heck? Grab a deck.
Grab a deck, what the heck? Goth Tarot is an exploration into shadow issues that maybe seep into our lives, cause us emotional distress, or make us appear emotionally aloof or unengaged, or other qualities that we associate with emo or goth or dark personalities.
And I am here to do a special shadow working that we could really focus on for the entire month. And as a follow-up, Mr. O will do follow-ups to this reading on his other shows.
That's nice. This episode in particular really outlines the qualities of what we're doing, and then my subsequent episodes will touch on that too. But this is the big one.
That's nice. All right, let's get it going.
We're entirely too happy for God. So
I'm trying to put on my somber face.
Please put on the somber countenance.
I'm going to let you shuffle and cut.
Right. So we identify that shadow work through the cries of the soul's oracle.
We are. It's an incredibly deep deck, and I highly recommend, if you're really into shadow work, you should get yourself a copy of this deck. It's a Rockpool Publishing Company deck, and it's really awesome. You didn't cut them.
Oh, so sorry. And then other parts of this week's reading and the following week's readings are supplemented with various other Gothic themed decks, notably the Ethereal Shadowwork Tarot. All right.
Are we ready?
We are ready. So what's the deal? What's the buzz?
Protective shells. And there is an affirmation, which we'll also repeat at the end of the show. I kindly and gently listen to myself. Okay. Protective shells is it. Let's see what that's about. What number is that? 4? I think it's right in the beginning, whatever it is. There it is. No problem getting there. Okay, the wisdom of this card, which is actually what is haunting us this month. It's the wisdom of this card. And it's the wisdom given to you by this shadow. Many of us protective shells block one or more of your chakras, not to oppose you or wantonly hurt you, but because you feel in need of security. You may try to release us, but we arise when you consciously or unconsciously call upon us, freezing your energy when you lack the resources to create inner balance or confront the uncertainty of the outside world. Motionlessness isn't your energy's natural state, but without us, you feel helpless. As long as you feel unsafe, our principal mission is to ensure your inner and outer safety. So it sounds to me like we're dealing with a situation here of being overly protective, maybe, like maybe having our defense shields up all the time. And when you do that, sometimes you close out things that you really don't mean to close out of your life. But, fear and anxiety, and obviously there's plenty of it in this world today, has a major role to play in how this shadow will appear.
Well, I was kind of pulled into the idea of the shell as it relates to biology, by life, and that lives that take shells or have shells, they have them for protective purposes, but there is that limiting quality that shell's dimensions limits how they will grow, and so things that maybe could grow larger are limited by the space. And this happens in human lives too, with various things that we may adorn ourselves with, or for example, cultures that have casts around babies' heads to form the baby's head to grow a certain way. These are like in some Indonesian areas. So there's a protective quality, but there's also a possible limitation.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And I liked that analogy. That was a really good analogy for this. Let's move on to the dark whispers, what you need to know. And this comes from the book as well. And it's again the shadow speaking to you. And we'll also throw a tarot card on this. So you can go ahead and start shuffling that.
Right.
So what you need to know. Even though we keep you locked in a comfort zone, this soothes you. We block your root chakra when you're afraid of the outside world, your sacral chakra when you're afraid of your emotions, your solar plexus chakra when you're afraid of your thoughts. Oh my gosh. Your heart chakra when you're afraid to create new ties with yourself or other people. Your throat chakra when you're afraid to communicate, your third eye chakra when you're afraid of your intuition, and your crown chakra when you're afraid to let go. You make yourself believe you will do everything you can to bring your desires to life, but you know you can't. Wow. That's really heavy, and I like the way they describe that. And I don't know if maybe when Mr. O is doing his, I'm not forcing you into this path, but maybe when you're doing your updates, you could focus on some of these blocked chakras.
That's very interesting. I knew you were going to say that because I was thinking the same thing, that this work is so deep that it really will require special focuses through the weeks, I think. And maybe I'll have to even drag you back into the studio to help me with some of that.
Well, I will say here, I also have that chakra doll that you might find helpful.
Can I put a pin in it?
No, it's mini-me. You can't do that.
Oh, all right. Not a voodoo doll.
But the interesting thing about this is I feel a lot of us right now have our root chakras affected because of what's going on in the country, in the world, etc. We are afraid of the outside, and in our own communities, with all the mass shootings in the U.S., we are afraid of the outside world right now. So I think that's a major. And the heart chakra, for those who are afraid of making new ties, with other people, because we seem, we don't know who to trust anymore. Let's face it. So, this goes for friendships, partnerships, collaborations. When you want to join groups and organizations, are they going to be accepting of you? Is there going to be problems? We're all feeling a lot of tension.
So what we need to, we're still in the first part, right?
Yes.
No. We are in the first part?
No, we are on
the second part.
Yes.
What we need to know this month then is really what things are triggering those qualities that are affected by our chakras. Are they triggering things in the way we end up relating to people? Are they triggering things about an overwhelming fear that we can't go to sleep at night?
Well, that was good, but I'm going to rephrase that a little bit. I like that. I think what he's saying is that basically determine what it is that's shutting you down. Determine what it is that's putting this overly protective thing around you that's shutting down a chakra. You have to determine the cause and then work on that chakra. Yeah. So I just thought I'd switch it, but I like
that. I like that too.
All right. So here's a tarot card to give us a little bit more.
What else do you need
advice? To know? Maybe it'll point to a chakra. We'll see.
And once again, that's
the be here.
Ethereal Shadow Work Tarot. Beautiful tarot. 3 of Cups.
It's the heart chakra.
Ooh.
which makes a lot of sense to me because I feel it because and I think it's the sacral and the heart chakra. And the reason I'm saying that is because obviously it's other people in the outside world, and who's your allies and who is not, that may be the issue here. Just a lot of fear and anxiety. I don't really want to get into politics, but I'm going to say there was a military meeting today in the U.S. that made a lot of people, I'm sure, that are in the military very uncomfortable about how they're going to be treated in the future, whether they're LGBTQ, whether they are a woman, or whether they are a person of color. So I think here, this is the thing. How are we interacting with others? And that, I think, is what this is talking about. In particular, maybe all you have to do, but you can decide this, is focus on the 2 chakras this month. Anyway, I would suggest that for everyone. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, that kind of blows me away. It's a lot to take in here. It really feels also, too, like maybe this basic attack or feeling that you feel that affects your heart chakra is maybe mostly affected by multiple people. So it's in multiple situations. It's within your friend circle, it's within your family circle, your
work environment.
So it could be the result of too much stimuli, various stimuli, and it's hard to balance all of that in your approach to these people.
And isn't it ironic that in the WTF reading we just did, and if you haven't watched that, you should, it was about the military meeting today, and we had the 3 of Cups reversed. And I remember what we said about that, and I think, however, the other things came out in that reading, that part is going to be a truth. So I'm not giving anything away. You'll have to go watch that reading.
Yes,
but anyway,
please watch our WTF with TFT.
Little shameless plug there. Let's move on.
So now we will move to the dark drama.
How others or the outside events may be inadvertently triggering this. And that is just a tarot. Do I shuffle?
I think we just pull from the
top.
We
just pull? Yeah. That's right. That's what I thought. Oh, it's the 5 of Wands. What is triggering this? Wow, it's the 5 of Wands. It's all the arguments, dissension, discord, anger, people just not willing to work together anymore. Can't we all just get along? But that's what's triggering it.
There's a highly competitive edge to this card. And the idea that people who are in it to win it for themselves or their concerns are causing these triggers here, needless drama.
And this is a tough one because what's triggering it is this. And I mean, are you having problems standing up for yourself, and maybe that's it. You don't want to be a part of a fight. You just want to sit back from it all. It's making you withdraw. It's making you close off that heart chakra. And I think here we all need to stand up for ourselves and listen to one another. It's not a matter of backing down necessarily, but we all need to be feeling comfortable about speaking and living our truths.
Finding some sort of consensus. It may never be a complete consensus, but the idea that something that almost everybody can more or less, focus on and agree to work with.
So now we know what's triggering this. And, if we went into personal relationships too, this could be either domestic violence or just being treated disrespectfully, from your partner. They refuse to listen. They refuse to work with you. They want you to work for them. Stuff like that.
Wow.
Stuff like that.
That was the dark drama. We are now going to be on the dark truth.
What you must accept. So we've got that in here.
The warning.
The warning from our shadow. We arise when you call upon us, because we never appear without your go-ahead. You can, however, try to set us or see us as a positive warning. When you feel our presence, you can ask yourself why you need a cocoon to protect you. You can become aware of our warning to offer yourself gentleness and kindness. And remember that we can stay with you for as long as you need because you don't have the resources to do otherwise. Your safety will always be our primary goal. And that's awesome. Okay, because
break it down.
Well, we all should have a protective boundary around ourselves. There's no doubt about that. You need to kind of have your personal space and your personal boundary lines that nobody should cross. However, if you're bringing it out unintentionally or unconsciously, as they said, at times that are triggering you like this, when you need to stand up for yourself instead of hide or protect yourself behind that cocoon, that could be a problem.
All right. So we pull a card too then.
Oh, did you have anything to add to that?
No, I have to admit it's a little overwhelming, some of this.
Okay, so we're pulling a tarot card as well.
Yeah, one tarot.
Well,
the moon.
So how does that fit in with the warning card?
You might be missing signals. You might not be able to totally intuit it, or maybe to some degree you're hiding it from yourself, or it's being hidden.
I feel there's like an uncertainty here in, you're uncertain when to use your cocoon and when not to. So in other words, they state quite clearly here, the shadow, that we're here whenever you call on us, but you call on us. So that means you're the one calling on it to come out, at times that may not be appropriate. And so, but it's because you just don't know how to navigate these situations. You're, in other words, a little bit trigger happy with this cocoon. It's so much better to just play it safe, for example, than stand up for yourself in these times of craziness.
Not necessarily like the moon going through cycles, but there is something secular about that, and that there is a waning and maybe waxing aspect to this behavior.
So maybe to give Mr. O another idea for follow-up is that, you need to trust your gut on this. You need to work on opening, your third eye and making sure you are reading the room right. That you are reading situations right. That you're not just shutting out everything that you shouldn't be. That you really are using this cocoon appropriately. Because the moon is about that too. You do have instincts, but your instincts are being turned off. Again, maybe the third eye needs to be worked on as well. I'm seeing that here. It's getting turned off because you're so afraid and worried about your own personal or spiritual safety.
Well, it all kind of adds up, the various influences, the giving into, people capitulation with the over-competitiveness.
So pretty powerful reading. Really is. You thought the last one was. I think this one's like, woo.
I agree with you too. I think this one's overwhelming it. So now we're on the dark gift.
And the dark gift is what hidden ability, power, or resources
or aspects
of yourself can help you cope with what is haunting you this month. And it's just a tarot.
And it's just a tarot.
Well, we could take that literally, couldn't we?
It's the world. Well, the hidden aspects of yourself maybe is that there's a collective unconsciousness that maybe resembles the world, and you have maybe fathomless resources, but you have to be able to pull them out. You have to be able to take that time to find them within yourself or within, your external resources. Maybe accepting the idea too that sometimes a cycle has to end perfect or almost perfect and then move on from there, because that's also part of the world.
It's really interesting because, yeah, I mean, so if I'm looking at what hidden ability, power, resources, aspects of self can help you cope with what's haunting you, is to actually engage with the world.
Oh,
Engage with others. Maybe engage with others who want the change that you want to enact in the world. That means that you have to be a true participant here. You're not just going along with the crowd, you're actually participating to create the world you want to create for yourself. And so I feel here, even though it's speaking about what you personally can do, I think you also need to keep in mind that you are not alone. Okay? You are not alone. And maybe that too could help bring down some of those overly defensive feelings that you have. So, see, it is. I always say we live in silos and we shouldn't totally do that and close ourselves off to other people. But sometimes we really do need to connect with a tribe so that we don't feel so all alone.
so whether it's just spiritually or in terms of the reality of human lives, the world says draw into the collective, be a part of the collective. You don't have to be dominated by it, but you get access to other opinions and you have that opportunity to express yourself.
Yeah. And finally,
The dark destiny or the dark light marriage. And that's the integration of shadow and light.
so we look at some ideas that this book has to work with this shadow. Moving forward, to create a new relationship with us, you need to create a new relationship with yourself. Every morning when you wake up, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and listen to your body. Feel if there are any tensions or discomforts and ask yourself why you feel unsafe and what you need. Choose what will be your main action for the day to bring yourself mercy and tolerance, and ask an experienced person for support if needed. Daily meditation can also be helpful because the more you prioritize and love yourself, the more you will have a balanced relationship with this shadow, with us. So, another thing, when you're gauging what is making you feel afraid, in the morning, like they said to do, feel it, sense if you feel there's some imbalance in a chakra. Maybe you're feeling pain in a certain area of your body or some other discomfort. Maybe you're feeling unease or butterflies, in this area here. So, or maybe your heart is palpitating a little bit with that anxiety. Maybe your head feels cloudy. Determine what chakra needs to be focused on, and see if you can't try to open it in the morning before you leave for your day.
So it's breathing and meditation. If it is really maybe a more dire condition that you feel, you might find a way to access people who are more specific about chakra work. But absolutely, you have to kind of set yourself maybe in the beginning. I think that's very wise, because it can really condition your day.
And you may want to do something at the end of your days to try to eliminate some of that toxicity that we accumulate, during the day. Those fears, those anxieties. Hey, if it takes not listening to the late night news, then do so. Whatever it takes to kind of make you come down. Come down from all of that. And let's throw the tarot card and see
Right,
what
it's the last card, right, two.
Well, it's the Queen of Swords reversed. So I think clearly here, what this might be saying is that you really need to focus on your mind as well. You really, and your heart, so you have to eliminate the fogginess. When you get up in the morning, we're tired, we're dragging, we got to have that cup of coffee. And if you're just still feeling some foggy headedness, you need to focus on, the deep breathing and try to clear your mind for your day. You want to make good decisions for yourself. You want to be wise. You want to think, as you're trying to determine what is out of balance, you want to make sure you're thinking clearly about this, that you're not just I don't know, faking it, you know. It's either out of balance or it's not. Maybe you'll feel fine, and that's great.
The Queen of Swords reverse can be problematic for some people, but at the core of that is the idea that she knows she's doing what's right for herself. And so that's the admonition here, is that you and you alone, especially if you begin getting in touch with your chakras and more meditation, you'll know what's right for yourself.
A very important reading, I feel, for today. And it's the final affirmation is the one we've said in the beginning.
Right.
I kindly and gently listen to myself. And that's the key. And that's what...
And we ended up there with the Queen of Swords in a way.
We did. And we also ended up there with the final warning, which basically, not warning, I'm sorry, with moving forward, which basically said, listen to your body, feel what might be out of balance each day before you get your day started, and see if you can work on that. All the chakra work and everything sounded very, very good to me. And I have to say here, it just was really good. This was a great reading.
Well, I hope I can do the follow-ups justice. I might have to touch base with you on a few of the ideas.
Yeah, okay. That's fine.
All right.
That was so good. I'm sorry. I'm just looking back at it because I really thought this was a very deep one. So thank you, Mr. O, for letting me be a part of your show. And
Thank you for wanting to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I just have to dabble in the dark side once in a while. You know, it's healthy. It's healthy. Got to have that balance.
So chocolate cake for dessert?
Maybe.
Dark chocolate.
Take care, everybody. Till next time, enjoy Mr. O's shows in the month ahead. Bye for now.
Bye.